This conference will now be recorded.
Right, we're going to see today how we can do the object level replication. We have seen geo-replication where you don't have a choice to choose some objects to replicate, right? It is something entire database. We don't want entire database. We wanted few objects to be replicated, and this combination is quite different. I mean, you have a cloud to cloud, cloud to on-prem, all again. So I have one cloud member, another cloud member, one on-prem. One is a PaaS server. Here it can be PaaS server. It can be managed instance or VM. It can be on-prem SQL server. The combination can be anything. It doesn't matter. You just need to follow what I'm going to talk. Any combination, you can move the data and take the data from anywhere. So I'm going to run through a lot of scenarios here. Just try to follow because it's a configuration wise, it's object level, but this can be used in many ways, in fact, to achieve many business needs, in fact. So how this can be used as a business use cases, we're going to pick up point by point, and then we're going to see in practical. Try to understand here. So if in replication in on-prem, we do have publisher, distributor, subscriber concept. Here, we don't have that kind of concept here. Okay. We have here, so sync groups. We'll call these are sync groups. Actually, this is called as sync groups. Okay. Our hub member topology. Don't confuse this one. Hub member topology. Anything, people do call this hub member or sync groups. So these are the interchangeable words in terms of to when it is calling this technology. So there will be hub. Always there will be hub. One hub, others are members. Always only one hub at any point of time. Others will be members. So just follow. So we have one directional replication or bidirectional replication. So bidirectional replication is very important. One direction is so simple. I'm going to show how we can bidirectional replication as well as one direction. One direction is equivalent to transactional, bidirectional equivalent to merge replication, as simple as it is, right? So one directional replication. These two are the possible configurations we can perform using this basically. So one direction means you will have a hub. A hub will send data to all members. This is a one case, or else all the members will send data to the hub, the other case. So you're sending it to one location or one location to all the locations. So that is a business use case. You can form one directional replication. No, I don't want that way. I want it if I do here, it should reflect in both the servers. If I do here, it should reflect in other two servers also. If I do anything here, it should reflect in other two servers also. This is called bidirectional. In fact, it's a merge, merging the changes everywhere. You can do the changes everywhere, and it reflect everywhere. So one direction does not have any issues because we are pushing the data to one direction. You modify somewhere, you push it somewhere. But in this case, if you look at here, this can create some discrepancies. It is possible. What kind of disturbance it can create? I have first record here, also first record. Everywhere data is same, but you modified at the same time here, here, and here also. Which one should be considered? Right? It is a conflict of transaction. When the conflict of transaction happens, how does it deals internally? Right? There is something called priority. Okay, hub member priority. We all, if you have, let me create the servers and then come back with the diagram because creating the servers will take time, right? When they are getting created, I'll explain the diagram better because not to waste time, we have to run through a lot of good scenarios, so we should not miss on time, right? So I'm just wanted to go on deploy. So we know guys, authentication and all, I don't want to talk anymore because we done. Let's go with the default. Right. So networking, I'm opening it because I'm going to create one more server in a different region altogether. Uh, this defender I did not talk yet. We're going to talk about like we need to talk private endpoint and defender. Those are also important concept that comes under security only. We'll spend time that direction. No need to worry. So I'm creating one server in India, one server in US. They are in two different regions. Still, I wanted to form the replication because the necessity of the business need for data. Okay, so maybe a test 0808. Is it available? Yes, it is. So if it is available, I'll go with the same name. Then right, I'll open this to have the communication in the background, one to other. Right, created. Right, so it is taking time. I just wanted to create databases and then start that discussion. It's really taking me slow. Right, one is done. Then let's create a database. So I'm going to create one database on each server. Lab. So at least we need to take 10 DDos, which is fine. It should be empty. Mhm. Other one also got deployed, so I'll create here also. Oh, it's not showing yet. Right, it is showing now. So now I'm going to create a database here as well, the US server, and don't forget to change the pricing tier. If you just deploy straight away, it will go to vCore model. That is definitely damn costly. Okay, so pay attention when you're creating the services. Don't create big services that will unnecessarily add up a lot of charges. We discussed right in the beginning how we can create. I mean, you have to create with the required DTUs. Don't create with the unnecessary DTUs or unnecessary vCores. When you practice, especially 10 DTUs is enough for every thing that you do personally to explore. So, right, this might take time. So, but we did deploy it. So, what I'm going to do first, I'll connect this one. Let's make it as a hub. To make it as a hub. First, I need to open the firewall for communicating through my public IP. So, right, we discussed this, all this, like what is external IPs, entire Azure, or internal. Three ways we can communicate with the SQL Server, right? We discussed all of that. So I'm directly opening it. Right. So now I'll also connect to the on-prem. So this is a combination we're going to do with a replication between these three servers. In fact, among these servers. because this is in India, this is in US, this is in a on-prem. So how we can integrate all of this, right? So I don't need these many databases here. Sorry. Fine. So I'm going to create a new database called replication, just for sake. Database name itself, I'm keeping it as replication. It is empty, just absolutely empty database as of now. And other database is also empty in this server, in both the servers. They don't have any data. Any doubts, you can stop and ask me, because this is a widely used technology. Right, you see this one, there is nothing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a table. A table without a primary key is not eligible to add into the replica sync groups or replica sets. You cannot say replica sync groups actually. So why we need a primary key? Basically, even in the on-prem also transactional replication and all that, we need a primary key. Why? To avoid the duplicate value. So to have the data integrity among the all the members, you need to have a primary key. So which will impose that uniqueness of the data. So you never ever run into data discrepancy. You do something in the primary, definitely the same record will apply on the secondary. Is a unique record. So if you have duplicates on the secondary, you are modifying one in the primary, it will go and modify two records on the secondary, right? Because two are matching with the condition. That should never happen. That will create the data discrepancy. That should not happen. Data integrity will be broken, right? Integrity means it has to be same. So now I need to go and add up the primary key. Without that, I cannot join a table into the sync group. So here also I need to add the primary key. So without primary key, intentionally. Okay. We created three tables in fact here, right? Two are with primary key, one is without primary key. We'll see that how it works, when we don't have a primary key, how it behaves kind of, right? That's fine. So in each one, I'll just load 2, 3 records at least as sample data. Follow every case. I'm just building the, things, to start the discussion. I need this, all of this. Right. Now let's go to the configuration. You can do this from the cloud only. You cannot do it from the on-prem. You go to the database on which you have the data to initialize. I mean, what database you wanted to make it hub first, not data. Wherever the data you have, you can pick it up. I'm going to show that you can initialize the data from anywhere. It doesn't matter. First, you have to decide one has to be hub. The hub should be generally from the cloud side, not from the on-prem. So I'm going to make this one as a hub, and then on the hub database, there is every database will have one option called sync to other database. There is an option. You see this one, sync to other replicas we have seen, geo replication and all that, right? So you can create a replica of a database kind of. But here, sync to other databases. Click on the new sync group. Sync group name, I'll keep it as bidirectional sync group. Okay. We don't have existing, we have existing, of course. What is the existing lab database and the Visual server? Automatic sync, yes. It can sync between 1 second to 30 days, in fact. So I'm going to talk about when do we use this. This is something we use many different ways actually, in fact. We can, if you someone asking like sync the data from on-prem to cloud or cloud to on-prem every 1 day or every 15 days, every 1 month, this is a scheduler you'll give it, or every second. So instant replication or else delayed replication, what you wanted. So depends on the scenario. Like you wanted daily once, it is enough, or you wanted monthly, it is enough, or you wanted every week or every 15 days. So we can give the based on the data need to be synced to other member. We'll see that. So I'll actually keep in minutes intentionally. I'll keep it go with the 3 minutes. Let's go with 3 minute scheduler. Conflict resolution. This is where it's very important, guys. Whenever bidirectional replication is configured, this conflict is very, very, very important for us. So there is a rule of thumb for this. What is the rule of thumb? Whenever you have one hub, one member, anything can be a anything can have a priority, high priority. Either a hub can have a high priority or member can have a high priority. In case of conflict of transaction, I'm talking about. Whenever you have more than one member, whenever you have more than one member, you definitely have to give the priority to hub. Why? Because this is also doing the same job, this is also doing the same job, this is also. Then there are conflict of between the members again. This will be another mess. When you have one hub, hub should win. In case of more than one member involved in the sync group, and you wanted to handle that conflict of transaction, hub always should win. This is the rule of thumb you need to aware of. I have only one member, one hub. You can give the priority to high priority to anything. Doesn't matter. Either this will override there or that will override here. There is no issue at all. But when the members are more than one, hub always should win. So in our case, we have two member concept. So you always go with the hub win concept. So I'll go with the hub win. Okay. Private link. I did not configure the private link. If I configure the private link, it does not use a gateway. What is a gateway? And does gateway cost you extra or not? We will talk about that. If we have a private link enabled with the SQL server, it uses that internally. That's something you don't need to redirect. It uses the private link and to transfer the data in the backend private networks. When you don't use it, it'll go through the gateway. So what is a gateway? What is a private? I'm going to talk about that. We did not finish it yet, but anyway, we can easily understand. So now we created a sync group name. We did not involve the members yet. So we want to do that. So it is not ready. If I go to here, only one database we have, which is a primary, right? This one. So if you click on this one, it need a password. One more thing again. There is one rule of thumb again, one more thing. Whenever you are involving outside of member out of the cloud, outside of the cloud member, there is an agent. There should be an agent. Outside or outside of pass, I would say outside of pass model, there is a gateway. There is something called Azure Sync agent. Basically, there will be setup. It will be suggested we need to install and form that connections to the cloud side. We'll see that. But again, on-prem need to talk to two servers at the cloud side. When it is talking to the cloud servers, it needs some authentication. It needs some user information to talk to that server and load the data, read the data, to sync, right? It is giving the data and taking the data. How it is connecting and taking and giving through authentication. So there is agent which will let the on-prem member to talk to cloud servers. So this agent embed only one account. Only one account it can accept. This account should talk to both the servers at the cloud side. So you have to give an account at the cloud side. Whatever the account you're giving in the hub database, you have to give the same account on the member database also cloud side, so that it can talk internally. See, I updated a user for a hub for talking to this server. This server is wanted to talk to this server. It need a user. So right now we are embedding in the configuration. I did not use that yet. Okay, we added the hub database. Then I'm going to add Azure Member. What is our Azure Member? The Azure Member, I'll just add it at Azure Member, just namesake. What is our Azure Member? US server, right? You have another US, so where class database we have, and direction is, this is where you define what you want. You wanted bidirectional replication or one directional replication. So bidirectional here, it does the job to, if you update in India server, it'll update in your server. If you update in your server, it'll update in India server automatically. That's a bidirectional. One direction means to the hub. To the hub means member will send the data to the sorry guys. So here members will send the data to the hub. To the hub means from the hub. From the hub means hub will send the data to members. That's it. It's an English word. To means two words. From means, see, you're sending the data to the hub. From the hub means it is giving the data towards and backwards kind of thing. So if you are going the bidirectional, select the bidirectional. If you are sending the data from member to hub, then to the hub. Hub is sending the data, then from the hub. You have to take the option cautiously here. What business is asking? This is something. This will make your data flow how you wanted your data flow should happen. You're defining it. You have to be careful on this one. You need to know what is requirement. So it is also another cloud member should have the same username what you have used for the hub, because it's another cloud member. Okay, right. You added one hub database cloud side, one Azure member cloud side. I need on-prem now into this configuration. So I'll go click on the add on-prem. Right. It need a gateway. This is what, whenever you wanted a member outside of the PaaS model, outside of the PaaS model in the sense a VM on the cloud VM or on-prem VM, anywhere the concept is same. The same concept what I'm trying to do here. So here choose sync gateway. Do we have, click on this? Right now we don't have it to choose it. I have to create it. When I click on the create, it is giving me 3 steps to follow. So first step is download the client sync agent. It's necessary to install the agent to allow on-prem databases to connect to your Azure. So it is given a link to download. Click on that. So everything is ready-made. You just have to follow the steps. That's it. So I'm clicking on this. I just need the setup, not the license terms I don't want. So I'm downloading this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to install this. Agree the terms and conditions. Right. This is very important again. See, one thing guys, you have agent. This agent is a service on this VM now. Let me show this. This is another important thing you need to understand. See, this installation is going to create a Microsoft Sync agent. If you see Microsoft Sync agent, Microsoft S, you have only two things here, right? You don't have Microsoft Sync agent. It will build a service. That service will talk to the SQL server in the on-prem VM automatically, and then fetch the data or load the data. So you should give a domain account in the real time. Here, there should be an account, a domain account that should be used when you're installing it. The same account should be created as a login in the SQL server, and that login should have the read-write privilege, at least read-write privilege on the database on which you are going to load the data. It's a minimum configuration you need to aware of. So I'm giving a login, which is sysadmin, not required sysadmin level. You should have the login, whatever the account you are using here in the SQL server, and that account should have the read-write privilege on the database on which you are forming the sync group. So I'm using this Ravinder PC Ravinder. This is the one I have as a local machine and giving this account password. It has to be that account password, else it will fail. Next, next, next. Right. It does the installation. Let's wait. Once it is done. Right. It is finished successfully. You can see that message successfully installed. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open that sync agent. Microsoft Data Sync Agent. See this one? Click on that. It looked like this when it opened. This is how it looked like. Okay. Now you did the first step. What it recommended is this, right? You did this. Next, agent name. A replication agent. You can give any name. Doesn't matter for that matter. You can give any name and generate the key. Whatever the key it is generated, you have to submit the key in this agent. Then with that agent key, sorry guys for the cough. Uh, with that key, the agent can communicate with the cloud. This is a key which will authorize. Anyway, you have a network. Network communication we already opened. Don't skip the network part. Network is first, it is reaching its network, then it is giving the key to authenticate to talk to the SQL servers in the cloud. So now I'm taking this key, submit the agent up here, submit the agent key, and then username password. So this is what I was referring. This agent can only take one username password. This username password should be there on the cloud side on both the servers because it is talking to both the servers at the cloud side. So we are embedding it. As soon as it is correctly loaded, other options will be enabled. You see this one? These were not enabled before I submit the key. The key submitted, things went fine. That's why other options are enabled. Now I'm going to register on-prem member into this agent. What is on-prem member? I have here, this is the server. And what database I wanted to actually have into this replication database. So you have to register on-prem server. Come on, it's not uh, PC. And database name is a replication. Okay. So now if you look at here, you don't have the database, but if I click on test connection, it is going fine. How it is going fine? Did I give username password? No. This is a setup. It is created a service in fact here. Microsoft Sync here, data sync. It is running using the Ravinder. This Ravinder account is already there in the SQL Server as a login. Okay, the service account of that, the service account of this Microsoft SQL Data Sync service account is Ravinder. This account exists as a login in the SQL Server, and this has a authorization to access this database. So it is going through the service account and testing the connection and save it. It get added. If I try to do, just let's for the sake. So Ravinder PC. Okay. I'm using REPL something, replication, whatever it is. If I do the test connection, it does not go. Why? That database does not exist. The service account is contacted SQL Server and trying to look for this database, but there is no such database. See here, unable to connect to the database. Please check if the service account has connectivity. See, it is saying that clearly. It is saying service account clearly. Message is check that service account. The service account, what it is going through as a access to the SQL Server database has a credential, password, permissions, everything correct, kind of, right? So it is verifying it. It's not just blindly giving the connectivity. So now with this, you registered the on-prem. You installed, you picked up the agent key, submitted, and you gave the cloud side database password. Okay, click it OK. Now, what we have to do, select the database. As soon as you register here, it will pop up here. Select here. So give the on-prem member the namesake here, from member here. See Ravinder PC replication. It is popping up. Now bidirectional. So here you can choose if on-prem need to send the data to the cloud, to the hub. If a cloud need to send to the on-prem, from the hub, one directional. But I'm going with the direction bidirectional here, right? So now you see this,
So
you
in
have
the
a
same sync group, you can have different things like from the bi-directional in the same sync group.
no, you have to create another group. Every one group, one see, bidirectional sync group is different, one directional sync group is different. You have to create one more sync group.
So in on-prem now I cannot select like one directional because another member is bi-directional in this particular sync group. Correct?
Yes, that's correct. You have to go
Okay.
that way only.
Okay. Okay.
We need to be clear, what is the business use case, what they wanted. One directional, bidirectional. It's not should not be combination of it. Either by one direction or bidirectional everywhere.
Got it.
Yeah. So you have the hub, you have the Azure member, you have the on-prem member. All are joined. Click it OK. Now you see three databases. Three databases. What are the three? One Azure hub, one Azure member, one on-prem. So that's why it is three now. No objects are getting replicated as of now, right? So now if you look at this, the hub will have a lot of tables, in fact, which you did not create, but it is internal tracking. It will create a lot of tables. Don't worry about them. You don't care about them. See, it is create a lot of tables. But on the other member side, we did not add any objects yet to form the objects, to create the object. Let's see. Come on, it's taking time. It is empty as of now. No tables. Here also no tables. Now I want you to replicate these two tables to through the sync group. Okay, this is a requirement. Sorry. Click on this and select the hub database and refresh the schema where you have the data for initialization. I can initialize from the hub, I can initialize from the on-prem member, I can initialize from the cloud member, anywhere. I'm going to show that. For now, we have the data in the hub, so I'm selecting the hub, refresh the schemas. Select that and refresh the schema, it will connect to the database, read all the objects. This would take time, depends on the amount of data you have. Right, you see the tables here given out. So now I'm selecting the tables which are eligible as of now. The tables without primary key are not supported, that I was saying in the beginning. To maintain the data integrity, we need it. Uniqueness of the each row should be unique, right? So now I'm selecting, I even can select column level also. I don't want the S name to be replicated. Only S number and S address need to be replicated. I can choose that. You have a this thing called what kind of replication in on-prem? You have the vertical filtering, horizontal filtrations. You have that same thing in on-prem as well. Fine, anyway. So I am just selecting two tables and then saving it. As soon as I save it, it does the initialization, data initialization. This is equivalent to snapshot replication, but there is no snapshot here. Uh, this act like a distributor. This window, what you see here, this is a coordinator for everything. Okay. So two tables are there in the sync group right now. It is fully sync completed in these many seconds. Okay. If it is too big delay, then you need to understand the network is slow. Okay. The latency here 2.48 seconds, in fact. Anyway, if I go and verify here, there should be tables now. See? And here as well. Teachers. Right. So now what I'm going to do, let's do the transactions, how it actually happens, right? Let's see that. I'm going to go student table. it is in bidirectional. Everywhere I'll do the change and show that data is getting synced. Before this, what I'll do, I'll read here and then just follow the case by case. A lot of cases I'll discuss. If you understand this case, all the cases, you can take your call when to use this technology. Everywhere data should be same, right? Yeah, of course, it is initialized. Right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to edit the data in the primary. Right. Now, if you see here, I'm going to load fourth record here and the hub database here and fifth record. Close this off. Now, if I read the primary, where here is the primary, like it's not primary, it's one of the hub database, right? So now if I read it, I have 5 records. If I read it here, 3 records. If I read it here, 3 records. Why it is not instantly synced up? Because we kept sync frequency as 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes we kept sync frequency as 3 minutes. So I have to wait for that 3 minutes to happen, or I can run manually. Either of things will work. 7:36, 38. So it will run on 7:39, in fact, 7:39, 19 seconds. Let's see. Or else I can run. At least we will see that it will trigger. Next time onwards, I don't wait. I just trigger. It is triggered already. This is triggered. See, 7:38, 31. Both are triggered. You can see this. This is triggered for the cloud test triggered. It is triggered for on-prem. Sync completed. Now we go and see. Data should be there. See, data is here. Everywhere, data is same after the sync is triggered. Now I'm going to do the change in other member. This is what is the configuration, right? It's a bidirectional. You do anywhere. It should reflect everywhere. Right. So now if I do read on the copy called this one US server, you see the 7, and India server, you see only 5. It's on-prem only 5 because it's not synced, right? So I don't want wait. It does the sync after 3 minutes, but I don't want. I can run manually also. So we don't run generally, but I wanted to speed up the discussion, so I cannot wait for every time 3 minutes and see how it is syncing. Anyway, we can change it to 1 minute, 1 second also. But you need to realize, right, how things are loading it. So let's see, sync is done. 740. Okay, one is done. Second one is also done. Now you go and check other members. You'll find data. See, 7. So oh, here it is not. So sometimes what happens, guys, one of the member will go behind the actual sync, but it gets synced in the next schedule. That's how it is. But eventually it will sync. You don't need to worry about. Everything will be same. Everything will come into the same count of the records. It maintains internally. You don't need to worry about. Even the one member is down for a long time, it comes online. Other member will sync all the data automatically to make the data equal everywhere. See here? Now I'll modify in the on-prem. This is the last concept, right? So this will prove that you are modifying the data anywhere, it reflecting everywhere. That's what I wanted to talk about here with this. So then, come on, 9, right? Yeah. right? So now if I read the data in the on-prem server, right, you'll have the 9 records. In the cloud servers, oh, it is started the sync already, it seems. Oh. When the 8th record is inserted, okay, the sync was started, it seems. So anyway, one record is still pending. Right, I'll run the sync anyway. I don't want to wait. At what time it is triggered? 7:41. I'll run it again. Right. Now you see 7:42 one is triggered. 142 both are triggered now. You can see the log here. See replication Ravinder PC Ravinder. Here class test 00. You can see that clearly. The logs are saying that it is both are successful. Now if I read it here, you'll see the 9 records. You'll see here 9 records and 9 records. This is how merge replication works. You do anything anywhere, it does reflect everywhere. That's the meaning of merge anyway. Now the conflict. Let's look at the conflict of transaction case. I'm going to load 10th record. Okay. Here, Harini, US. Okay. 10th record, Harini, US. I'll go to the second server as 10th record only. Then that is called conflict of transaction, in fact. Sorry, guys. Here I'm making is Ravinder. Right. 10th record here. Right. So now read the data. Here is Venu. Here it is Ravinder. Here Harni. And where what is a conflict means? The conflict, you're doing the transaction on the same ID. That is a conflict. Here it is 10. Here also it is 10. Here also it is 10. So when we configured the sync group, we gave the priority to hub. What is a hub for us? This is a hub, Ravi 080. And what does hub data is Harini, right? When the sync runs, this data will get overwritten with the Harini data because the hub has high priority. That is called conflict of transaction. At the end, hub data is a final, whatever you have it. Sync is running. This is disabled means sync is running. 7:44. It's not synced actually. Just synced. See here, it is a Harney now. Sync is already triggered. Now you see this Harney, and everywhere is Harney. Why Harney? Because 10th record is a conflicted transaction, and that conflicted transaction is overwritten with the hub database because hub has a more priority in case of conflict. Is it clear? Say something, please.
Yeah, it's clear.
Right. This is one case. Right. Let's move towards. If I want, what if the case like, okay, your data is you added number of tables, so added everything is going well. I need some more tables. My business needs some more tables to be part of the sync groups further. I'll go to the table design. I'll change the, I'll add up the primary key. Without primary key, you cannot do this, right? It's mandatory. So I'm adding the primary key. Right, now primary key has been added. Now if I refresh the log here, I'll come back to here. I refresh the schema. Database is hub itself for now. adding extra tables to existing sync group. It can be from the hub, it can be from the cloud member, it can be from the on-prem member, anywhere. Data installation can be done from anywhere, doesn't matter. Okay. So now this got enabled. Why? Because I added the primary key to that table. Now the two tables will become 3. Right. You see this? Now if I go and check other members, that table should have been loaded. If not, it will load in the next sync. Not yet, but anyway, we will run the sync. Okay. So I don't want to run this sync all the time. Why I don't want to keep the delay at all. I'll change the frequency. We have the frequency of 3 minutes. I'll make it 3 seconds in fact. Let's do check this how quickly it happens. As soon as I change it, it reflects everywhere so quickly. You understood how data is actually syncing up, right? The delay I kept intentionally to show that if I do here, how it is reflecting other members. So that is what intention. I kept it with the 3 minutes delay. It's up to the business anyway. So now if I go and check, the table should have been loaded by this time. Right, you see this lab, and here also lab, see, right? So now whatever the table you wanted to add it, you added, but I wanted to add the table from the other members. They created a new table. Everywhere everything can be modifiable, and it is possible, right? I wanted to add a new table from the other member. Yes, it is possible. Let's do it. You follow all these use cases, guys. This is what the use cases means. Requirement can be anything. Mm, Customer, cust number, integer. Come on, it's hunger. Something, some data. I need a primary key. This don't forget. Right. Now, if you look at, you have the table only in the US server. I wanted to add this table also into sync group. So what I wanted to prove with this, you can initialize the data. See, the requirement is now I'll tell you this, as a original. I have the on-prem server. I wanted to migrate to the cloud server entirely. I wanted to migrate. Using the sync group, I can migrate a database without, with zero downtime, in fact, zero. How that can be possible? What do you do when the business is going on? It is you don't need to, bring it down the entire business anyway. You can add it, it does sync in the background. You form the sync group. Don't tables we added later on. We form the sync group first. When we adding the tables, we need to select the on-prem member and refresh the schema. It will connect to the database on which you have the data, migrate it, entire database. It's not a server level technology, database by database, but you wanted entire database to be migrated without downtime. The sync group is one concept. You have a 10 database set, create 10 sync groups and then migrate all of them if you want. So that way of use the technology. kind of thing. So, oh, sorry, it's not on-prem. On-prem, you have only three. I have the table in the, I'll add the on-prem also, no need to worry. You can initialize the data from anywhere, it doesn't matter. Data can be initialized. First, you have to form the sync group. What is giving the data to initialize? You have option to choose. It is a hub, it is a cloud member, it's an on-prem member. Where your data, the source, to sync with other members. You have to select that. From there, it will sync the data to other members or hub.
Ravi, so one sync group can have only one database?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
It's limited to one day. It is object level, right?
Yeah.
So first database, then object. So it is definitely limited to one database. Right? You see this? There is a customer tables. I can add it from the member. Okay. Was not part of the sync group. Now will be part of the sync group. This will turn to 4. Right. Now, if you go and check this hub, you find the table called customer. See? And here, customer, see? Anyway, it was this here only, right? Here we need to see that. Here, now I'll create a quick one table just to show that you can initialize the data from anywhere, okay? What table we can create? Class maybe. Class number, integer, class name, whatever it is. Just namesake. I need to add the primary key. Right? Now I want to add this table. Maybe I'll add some data into it. So this case, like you wanted to migrate on-prem database to cloud without, with zero downtime. Okay, it is possible. It's a database, one database. You're not doing entirely. You can select all tables of a database when you're syncing it. So now I'll go to here. I know that where the data is to sync, right? So you have to select the source of data. It can be hub, it can be cloud member, it can be on-prem. Select that, select the object and save it. It will sync the data from the source to all other members. So you selected on-prem, on-prem will sync all the data with the cloud. Once data is completely synced, cut off. Just remove it and then start working from the cloud. So now it is not only that way, I'll talk about many other scenarios, no need to worry. I'm selecting this. Now you'll find five tables here. See
So
five
Ravi, how
tables.
long it takes usually for a, let us say, 1 terabyte on-prem
Hmm.
database to
Uh,
sync initially?
1 TB depends on your bandwidth, subscription with the ISP. Like we are going through ISP anyway. The tunnel also go through that ISP, right? So your company bandwidth, it all matters. 1 TB can be done in 7 hours. 1 TB can be done 3 days also. It all matters. How quick, how late depends on your
So,
bandwidth
so,
subscription with the
so
ISP.
usually, yeah, I mean, fastest could be how long?
It can be. I have seen 7 hours something. 1
Oh,
TB plus.
oh, then
That too on
it,
dedicated MPLS, there is a circuit they created. They created a circuit, separate circuit between the on-prem to cloud using MPLS. I don't remember the terms. MPLS cloud something they said. Um, they created some circuit, dedicated circuit for that. Then we did, and 1 TB data, it transferred 7+ hours, I guess. That was done. We had done
Is it
successfully.
the normal process they do for migrations from on-prem to cloud, or is there
No,
any
no,
other?
no, no. We have many a method. This is one of the method. I'm just saying. No need to worry. I
And
did not finish
which
the
one is
migrations
it?
yet.
Okay, okay.
Which one we use it according to the scenario. I'll see when you get to know most of the understanding, then you can call according to the situation. Because I did not finish the migration, so you don't conclude on that side. But yes, you'll conclude it when you go through all the other parts. Okay, fine. So now 5 tables have been added, which means anywhere you can. Example, what if the case like one of the member goes down, right? Configuration. What? Anyway, whatever, doesn't matter. I can stop SQL Server from here also. I'm stopping SQL Server. What happens if I stop? Sync will fail, right? So what I'm going to do intentionally in the cloud servers, I'll do some transactions. Teacher, it is possible, right? One of the member can go down. If it goes down, what is a possible things you have to do something? You don't need to do anything. It does sync automatically. So now if I read this one, let me close this off. Come on. Changa. Wake up. It's busy. Okay, I'll give some time. Fine, fine. Right. So we stopped the on-prem SQL server, right? It stopped. So what I'm trying to do, I modified the data in the teacher. There are 3 records I entered. The same records will reflect in a other member because it is online. It is online. Come on. See here? This is how it is. So now this data, even if I modify some data here also, it reflects there. You can modify anywhere that we have seen. There is one more scenario I need to cover. Let me, after this I'll cover. I mean, there are many scenarios. Everything is scenario, of course.
So is this erroring out in the sync process?
Yes, yes, I'll show that. I'll show that. It'll of course show that entire error, what went wrong, all that. Okay. I'm just doing some transactions first to create this more scenario, but better scenario. You modified the data here and there, and data got merged. Over here, say 8 records, here 6 records. It'll become 8. I kept 3 seconds, right? So maybe it is waiting, it is trying to hit the one member, it is failed. What, you cannot read the entire thing here. You have to copy this message and load into Notepad. Always read the errors like that only. So what it is saying? It is saying that network related. Anytime you see this for network something, it is not reachable. Mostly this kind of exceptions will created only network related exceptions. Either firewall wrongly they have updated, the rule has been deleted what was allowing the connection before, or the service itself is down. So some way it is not reaching that service. It's not authenticated. Network related means either service is shut down or that entire port or blocked or something happened. Connection is not able to reach that finally. Now you see this every 3 seconds, that message will be popped up. Sync failed, sync failed, sync failed, kind of, because it's trying every 3 seconds, right? So now if you see here, data got synced here and here. As soon as this comes online, it picks the data. Whatever the data, amount of data that was transferred between those members, it doesn't matter. Once it comes online, this is online now, just straight away now. Now if where did it teacher data, right? Teacher, this could have been loaded also. See, 8 records. See, there were only 3. I inserted 3 on the hub and the other 2 are a member. Once it came online, it picked up all the gap. Did you guys see that? Yes or no?
Yes.
So
So
now
how do
again,
we get the alerts for the failed transactions or?
that's something you don't see that, but this business people will tell us there is no alert. This is something very bad. Microsoft, there are many alerts for other things. I'm going to talk about alerting is separate topic for us. But here for this technology, there are no alerts. Someone if complains will come here. Okay, what is the problem? We'll see this. We'll see this. And if say that this table we don't see all the data. So first thing what I do personally, if they complain that sync is not going well, count first. Count. You check the count on all 3 members where the count is less. Where the count is less. That is the main focus. Okay, why it is not syncing? What is the reason? Do we have any reasons loaded here? We will look at it. So the reason itself is your troubleshooting message, basically. The reason clearly indicates why it is not actually a syncing kind of, why it is not flowing the data kind. Maybe not reachable, maybe log file is full there, it is not accepting the data anymore. The problem could be anything. Network issue, our database itself is deleted, whatsoever. All right. What I was trying to talk, yeah, one more thing, one more scenario. We have time to talk many scenarios. So now if I wanted to switch it back to seconds to minutes again, just to show one more concept here. One thing, data, though you load the data in a different order, it doesn't matter. I'll go to customer table. Fine. Here you don't have it, anything. Follow this carefully. How it sorts the data, that's also very important. Come on. It is empty table. I'm reading it. Why I'm reading it? Before and after. Right. Now I'm going to go and load the data here. 1, 2, 3. Follow this carefully. 1. Data can be anything, doesn't matter. Sequence matter here. 3. Right. Now you read it. Here you read it. Here you read it. You have the data here because you modify. Now on the second one, I'll load the data 4, 5, 6. Follow this. This how it actually sorts the data automatically. The placement of data is also, it does in sorted order, though you insert data out of bound. Out of bound in the sense this is out of bound, right? Because the starting 1, 2, 3 is there, it is not have 1, 2, 3, but it directly 4. But how it will keep the data in the order automatically, that also you need to realize, because it's a merge, right? Anybody, anywhere can insert with any number. It no need to be sequential. Now if I go and read here, come on here, right? 4, 5, 6. Now in the on-prem, 7, 8, 9. When the sync happens, how good it is to arrange the data. That also important to understand. Understand every use case, guys. This will help you out. Right, you see this one here, 4, 5, 6, here, 1, 2, 3, here, 7, 8, 9. Their data is not in this in the order at all. But when the sync happens, this data will give it to this one, this will give it to this one, this data will give it to the all will exchange data to have the common data everywhere. Okay, that's how things work in a sync group. So everything has a different data in fact here. Now what if the sync happens, how data gets merged? Focus there. At what time? 8:3, 8:6. Okay, it'll trigger. By now it should have been triggered. 8:3:20, 8:6. Okay, it'll trigger. Just wait. It is triggered 86. One is triggered with on-prem. What about the other cloud, right? Both are triggered, right? Now, you see, this delay is not good. 10 seconds is not good actually, but you cannot do anything, right? This is something you have to raise with the networking team. 10 seconds delay for small transaction is not good. But anyway, we have a region wise, so it is going through the gateway. If you reach this one, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see the data arrangement, how it is done. If you see this one, 7, 8, 9. If the data is merged, maybe you might see 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5, 6, something like that. But it's not like that. It makes data in the order automatically. See, one is missed. The order 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6 is missed in this sync. Maybe in next sync it will sync. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. It is in the order. That's the thing you need to observe here. Here it is series 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6. It will insert in between the data what is coming up. Next schedule. Okay, I'll run it. I don't want to wait for 3 minutes now. All right. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6 actually was not here. 7, 8, 9 was here, but it is loaded data in the order. You guys observed? Yes or no? See, guys, these are all use cases. You need to know how the technology works. That is very, very important. When you know things, how things work, then you can confidently work in, like according to the requirement. That's very important. Next, how do I refresh a database from on-prem to cloud every 1 month, every 1 week, right? So whatever I do here, it should reflect in the cloud after 1 month. Whatever I do in the cloud, it should reflect in the on-prem after. The direction can be anything. Requirement could be anything in the real time. You cannot say that this is what is a requirement all the time, right? But you need to know. So if someone comes with this is all common. We do this actually in our environment also. We have on-prem, we have a cloud. From the on-prem, the business all will happen here every 1 month. Okay, last Sunday every month generally, it will push the data to cloud, and from the cloud they generate the reports to the all the people around the world. Subscriptions are in different countries, in fact. So this is what you're doing in the business in on-prem, pushing it to cloud. From the cloud, you're generating the reports. This is the scenario we are having it live. What I'm talking about. So how did we achieve it? We went with the what concept I should do in this. If you understand what I discussed so far, if this is the requirement, is it to the hub or from the hub or bi-directional? You need to answer if you understand.
To the hub, right?
Excellent. That's very nice answer. To the hub. Why? Because hub can sit in the cloud only. Hub can sit only in the cloud. This is a member. So what we are doing, we are forming the to the hub replication. When you are directional, we have seen three options: bidirectional, to the hub, from the hub. But here we are pushing the data to the hub, and from the hub we are generating the reports. So you have to call that to the hub. Very nice answer. That's very good answer actually. So now the direction. This is what you need to understand out of an entire discussion. The requirement comes in any way, any manner. You might work in one project, they wanted only to have concept because they're working this model. Maybe some other environment they do everything in the cloud, but they wanted in the reverse order to on-prem. In this case, from the hub, they wanted everywhere here and there, both the directions. Then go with the bi-directional. Call it according to the need. Understand it. That's what is something here. So okay, you understood what you wanted to configure. Then it is so simple. Once you understand, then go with here and then frequency. The frequency, what I'm to the hub I configured, then I'm going with the days and make it 30 days here. That's it. It will sync the data every month automatically. I don't need to do any more. I initialized first. I'll go to here. I'll select the on-prem database, refresh the schema, save it. It does the installation entirely. Once the installation is done, this month reports are gone. Next month they wanted. Again, you don't need to do the installation anymore. The scheduler will take care. All the changes that happened after, it does not come from the beginning again. Whatever the changes happened last 1 month, it will pick up all the incremental and apply to the database, and then that will get updated. How good it is? Very good, right? You're not refreshing entire database every month. We are only taking the subsequent transactions since last sync and every sync. That's how it works. You guys following? Say something. These are all important use cases, what I'm trying to discuss here. Clear or not clear? Good. Thanks for the response. Yeah. So in the real time, this is how you can migrate a database also, in fact, database by database without a downtime. Maybe you configure a sync group for all databases parallelly, migrate when the sync is completely done. How do I know the sync is completely done? So on the migration day, you have to stop the applications. Anyway, sync will take little time. Once how do we know sync is completely done? You have to check the record count, the source and target. Record counts are same, sync is complete. Then remove this sync group and then switch over all the application to cloud. That's it. Operate from the cloud. You're done. This is one way. There are many other good methods. I'm just telling you, these are also one of the way to migrate a live one database without downtime.
Ravi, so here, how can we change after configure? This is bi-directional, right? Can we change it to like from the hub to the hub once configured?
No. You have to reconfigure. That's something you cannot do it.
Okay.
When
So
you're
this
doing it,
configuration,
mm, mm.
sorry, this configuration can we do using the any T-SQL scripts, or it has to be through the wizard?
No, only portal. There is no T-SQL for this. Only portal.
No PowerShell, nothing, right?
PowerShell also has a lot of things in it. It will be very big script. In fact, if you go through PowerShell, there are a lot of parameters. And parameters, again, you have to update properly. Anywhere you miss the parameter, it will hit the wrong target and you go in a different direction. Because
Oh,
you are going through a lot of steps here, in fact,
yeah, correct.
right? You have to have the 100% visibility. So, see, automation is good. I'll talk about the automation strategies. We have the automation module. I talk about 5 different automations in our class anyway. PowerShell is one of that. When you create too much of automation, you have to keep it yourself. On few destroy thing especially. If example, I'm doing good for the environment by automating some, cleaning up some resources. But every time you clean up, you have to change the identities. You have to change the names. You have to call the correct names. If someone does not know how to change properly the assignments, it will hit the different target.
So,
Then who? Good.
Ravi, for example, in the real world scenario, this let us say this was a requirement, and you get the change request approved and everything.
Hmm,
So you will be assigning to a DBA.
hmm.
Will there be like detailed steps that we need to like put in the change request, for like a run book exactly each and every step, or
For what? For what?
for actual implementation?
No, they don't know. You're a DBA. You should know all of this. Why?
Yeah, but
They
the
don't know
change.
even what is sync group.
Okay, that means in the change request, usually, we cannot go on defining each and every step that we follow, right? So the person whoever is doing should do it,
Yeah,
not
of course.
you know.
See, as a business person, you are the DBA. You know the technology. As an
Hmm.
application guy, he knows what is application, what coding and all. He knows he can explain. Everybody do their own part. They don't come to you and tell you that you follow the steps and you do this technology kind of. It's your call to achieve that ultimate goal.
Okay.
It's a DBA job. Anyway, guys, I need to discuss few more things. Let's move on. I mean, we are to few topics left on this one itself. So this technology is something you can use in a different ways, not only for the just object replication. You can use data refreshment also, as we discussed, and you can make the production data to pre-prod to production using this as per the requirement. And the background process will take care on that one. What if the case like I configured sync group, I wanted some more databases to be in the part of it, right? Some more servers to be part of this. It is so simple. You have the group here. You'll go to here. You'll add other Azure member if you wanted. You can add other on-prem member if you wanted. Maybe if I wanted another on-prem member, another I don't have, but on the same machine itself, I'll go to here. Let me create a new database. Lab. Do I have lab? No, I don't have. So I'm creating a lab database here. Oh, lab here, don't confuse. So testing, do I have testing? No, right. So this database also should be part of the replication or sync group, whatever we have right now. If it is part of it, you have to install the agent there and register as we did here the same way. I did already. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and register that database. What is it? Testing, right? First test the connection, fine, save it. We registered one more database now. As soon as I register, I can get that agent. I'm using the existing agent we already configured. Select the second on-prem, maybe just for the sake. And you will see the database, which is this one, second one, and direction there. Here you have to define. Click it OK, click it OK. That's it. You're done.
So when do you need another agent?
We're on another server. It is the same machine, so I no need of agent installation, all that. It is another server. Think that way.
Okay, for these 3 servers, as long as the servers remain same, only one agent will work, right?
Only on one on-prem agent, of course. Enough. That's correct. Just a minute, guys. Okay. Fine. So now, if I click on this, you will see entire data getting initialized on the new database. You don't need to worry about it. It does the entire sync. Okay. It is added actually. If not, I'll run the sync. Sync completed. Fine. You should see the tables and data now. See here? You go and read any of the table, entire data is there. This way, you can add new databases if you want. I don't want this anymore. I'll go to here. I'll go to here. I'll delete this. Remove the database. That's it. One replica is deleted. You can add, you can remove, you can do anything that you wanted. That's how it is. Okay.
So will
So
there be
one.
any like a limitation with the SQL Server version from on-prem to cloud?
For this, right?
Yeah,
Compatibility kind of, you mean to say?
compatibility. Yeah.
Yeah, go towards higher side, not the lower side. Lower side also it happens. It works. I need to check. We have to the 19, I guess. All to the 19. Maybe I'll check.
Okay.
So this way, you can work with the sync groups, guys. So any questions from anyone? We're done. Almost all the scenarios.
Actually, general one. So by using a replication, we can only migrate the tables only, right? What about these SPN views? We need to manually copy
That's
paste
correct.
it, right?
Very good question. Yes, it won't move the SPs. Only it moves the tables and data and its related objects, but not the SPs, views, triggers, and all that. Yes, that's correct. There's other tools. That's why you don't have to have a downtime. You script out everything, you built it, and when the data is going, so the scripts are being deployed, data has been deployed, you can cut off. But this is something, one way of doing it. There are many other ways to follow. So which is better, which looks good to you, you follow it anyway. This is one of the method I'm just trying to stress. Okay, it's not only the thing that we have to migrate kind of. We have other good methods also. We'll see that for now. But if you have any questions around this discussion, let me know. I mean, what you said is correct. It won't move the like triggers, functions, all the other objects, uh, tables, table indexes, their dependencies. It will move that part, but not the other objects. Any questions? If not, I'll stop.